It started with one word: urgent. On a quiet evening, Sam Heughan opened his Instagram app and posted a story that would ripple across his 4 million followers. Against a dark background, the familiar white text appeared. Please support, #Save Cumbernauld Theatre. No promotional tags, no glossy photos, just a heartfelt plea, raw, immediate, and deeply human. For longtime fans of the Outlander star, it was a message that hit differently. Sam wasn't promoting a new whiskey release, a red carpet event, or a TV premiere. He was asking for help, not for himself, but for something that had shaped him long before Hollywood came calling: the Scottish theatre. Cumbernauld Theatre, located in North Lanarkshire, is one of Scotland's most cherished creative spaces. For decades, it has nurtured local talent, staged touring productions, and given countless young people their first taste of performing arts. But earlier this month, it announced devastating news. Its application for continued multi-year funding from Creative Scotland had been rejected. The statement from the theatre was heartbreaking. "This is the news we had hoped to avoid." Despite months of constructive talks, Creative Scotland has confirmed that transitional funding will not be extended into 2026. Without that support, the theatre's future beyond January 2025 looked uncertain. Its management, under new leadership and armed with a sustainable community plan, had been preparing for Cumbernauld's 70th anniversary as a new town next year. Now, instead of celebration, they faced potential closure. When Sam read that message, he didn't hesitate. Within hours, he shared it with his global audience, urging everyone to take action. "Please support," he wrote, adding a link to the petition calling for intervention from the Scottish Government, Creative Scotland, and North Lanarkshire Council. It wasn't a formal press release. It wasn't part of any PR campaign. It was an instinct, a personal reaction from someone who knew what losing a theatre really meant. For Sam Heughan, the stage isn't just a career stepping stone, it's home. Before Outlander, before global fame, he spent years in community theatres just like Cumbernauld, rehearsing under flickering lights, performing to small crowds, dreaming big in modest spaces. The smell of old curtains and sawdust, the warmth of a local audience, that was where his story began. He has often said in interviews that theatre saved his life, giving him purpose when he had little else. That's why this campaign struck such a deep chord. Saving Cumbernauld Theatre wasn't just about preserving a building, it was about protecting the next generation of dreamers. As his post circulated, thousands of fans began resharing it within minutes. The hashtag Save Cumbernauld Theatre started trending across Scottish Twitter, then spread to the wider fandom. Outlander pages from the US, France, and Japan began reposting the petition link. People who had never even heard of Cumbernauld before were suddenly learning its name, and fighting for it. Meanwhile, Cumbernauld Theatre's own statement struck a painful chord. "Next year marks our town's 70th anniversary. We want to be at the heart of those celebrations with a program rooted in creativity, community, and connection. Without urgent support, the 70th year of this town could instead see the closure of this cultural asset for good." The thought of darkened stages, silenced laughter, and empty seats haunted many who read it. Sam's message gave that fear a voice, and gave hope a chance. News outlets quickly picked up the story. Outlander star launches urgent appeal to save beloved Scottish theatre. Reporters emphasized the emotional tone of his post, calling it a heartfelt reminder of the actor's deep ties to his roots. One theatre worker told local radio, "When someone like Sam Heughan speaks, people listen. He hasn't forgotten where he came from, and that gives us hope." In less than 24 hours, donations began to rise. Hundreds of people signed the petition, many leaving personal comments like, "This is where I first performed at age 9, or, "My father helped build this stage." It became clear that Cumbernauld Theatre wasn't just a venue. It was a heartbeat of the community. And in the center of it all was Sam, quietly using his platform not for glamour, but for good. For years, his fans have admired his humility and dedication. from running marathons for blood cancer charities to supporting small Scottish businesses. But this moment felt especially powerful. It wasn't about global fame or Netflix premieres. It was about preserving the soul of the place that raised him. As the night drew in, Sam reposted one more update to his story. A fan's message saying, "I just signed. My daughter performed there last year. Thank you for speaking up." He added a simple heart emoji and the words, "Every voice matters." By the next morning, the petition had reached thousands of signatures, and more were joining by the hour. The urgency of Sam's plea had done what funding reports and official statements couldn't. It turned a quiet cry for help into a rallying call for an entire nation. But what came next would prove even more powerful, as fans from across the world began to share their own stories, and a movement that started with one post became something much bigger than anyone expected. Within just 48 hours, Sam Heughan's post had transformed from a simple Instagram story into a global movement. The hashtag #SaveCumbernauld Theatre appeared everywhere, on fan pages, community boards, even under unrelated Outlander clips. What began as one actor's emotional plea had become a collective heartbeat, echoing far beyond Scotland's borders. By Monday morning, the Cumbernauld Theatre inbox was overflowing. Hundreds of messages poured in from around the world. A woman from Canada wrote, "I've never been to Scotland, but theatre saved me when I was young. I signed the petition and donated." A teacher from Glasgow said, "My students performed their first play here. This theatre made them believe in themselves." And then came stories from fans who linked their love of performance directly to Outlander itself. "If Sam found his voice on a stage like this, maybe my daughter will too." Local newspapers quickly took notice. One headline read, "Outlander fans worldwide unite to save Scottish theatre." Reporters described it as a digital uprising of kindness, a phrase that Sam would later share with a heart emoji. The movement grew so quickly that the theatre's website briefly crashed under the weight of signatures and donations. Inside Cumbernauld Theatre, the small team of staff and volunteers could hardly believe what was happening. "We'd expected heartbreak," said one of them. "But Sam's post gave us hope we didn't think we'd find again." For Sam, watching from afar, the response was emotional. Late that night, he posted again. A photo of the theatre's modest red brick building bathed in the glow of the setting sun. The caption read, "Thank you all. This place is more than walls and lights. It's stories, dreams, and community. Let's keep the light on." The comments section filled instantly. Thousands of fans pledged continued support. Others tagged government officials and arts organizations, demanding action. One user summed it up perfectly. "If millions can binge a show about Scotland's history, we can surely save a piece of its present." As momentum built, local politicians began to take notice. A member of the North Lanarkshire Council acknowledged the campaign publicly, thanking the community for reminding us of the value of art as a living, breathing force. Creative Scotland, which had previously declined further funding, announced it would review the situation and explore interim solutions. The conversation had shifted from despair to possibility. Cumbernauld Theatre's artistic director later told BBC Radio Scotland, "Sam's message gave us something we can't buy with grants, visibility and unity. For the first time in months, we believe this story might have a happy ending." But what touched people most wasn't just the potential rescue of a building, it was what the story represented. Sam's plea reminded everyone of something easily forgotten in the digital age: the emotional power of community. Clips from his old stage performances began circulating again, grainy videos from early plays where his youthful passion shone through. Fans paired those clips with his new message, creating short tributes titled, "Full Circle." One viral edit ended with his words fading over the theatre's logo, "Every voice matters." Across Scotland, other small arts venues began to share their own stories of struggle, using the same hashtag. It was no longer just about Cumbernauld, it was about every creative space fighting to survive. Theatres in Aberdeen, Inverness, and Dundee expressed solidarity. Students from a performing arts school in Edinburgh recorded a short video message, "We stand with Cumbernauld." Meanwhile, the petition's numbers kept climbing. By the end of the week, more than 50,000 people had signed. Donations from around the world totaled enough to fund several months of programming, buying precious time for negotiations to continue. In a rare personal post outside of Outlander promotions, Katrina Balfe reshared Sam's story with her own caption, "Theatre gives people belonging. Let's keep the stage alive." The comment drew thousands more to the cause. Fans noted how fitting it was. Two actors whose on-screen love had captured hearts now uniting for something bigger than both of them. On Saturday, Cumbernauld Theatre hosted a spontaneous community event. Locals gathered outside the building with candles, posters, and handmade signs reading, "This stage raised us," and "Keep the curtain up." Children performed small monologues on the steps. Older residents shared memories of plays they'd seen decades earlier. A small speaker played traditional Scottish music into the cool evening air. And when someone read aloud Sam's words, "Please support," the crowd erupted in cheers. From miles away, Sam reposted a photo of that candlelit gathering. His caption was simple. "You did this." For once, an online campaign had translated into real-world unity. The following week, Creative Scotland announced a meeting with Cumbernauld Theatre's leadership to reassess community funding priorities. It wasn't a victory yet, but it was a lifeline. When asked about it during a brief appearance on a morning talk show, Sam's voice softened. "Theatre gave me my start. I can't imagine Scotland without spaces like Cumbernauld. They don't just produce actors, they build confidence, connection, compassion. I only did what anyone who loves it would do." The host smiled. "You've certainly reminded people what art can mean." Sam nodded. "Art keeps us human. Let's not forget that." As his words spread once again, fans continued to share, sign, and donate. And for now, the lights at Cumbernauld Theatre still burn every night, a symbol of what can happen when one voice dares to ask for help, and millions answer the call.